This is so hard for me to do, but I owe you a personal apology and an admission that I was just so wrong. How can Yu-Gi-Oh! Be falling off when people are buying into modern trash rarities, as many call them, and going for Hungry Burger? It's a show of strength into the American market, and 0.25% up with Hungry Burger surging to $40 once again. Times are good. If you want a serious discussion on this, I thought this never would go under $30, but it was actually already there, and suddenly it is starting to go back up with the upped interest in Wild Survivors. But the true show is what's good, YouTube, and welcome to the WCQ discussion. What a wild ride that tournament was, but I want to focus on the prizing real quick that was introduced with the WCQ stamp effect Veiler. I have confirmation from a duelist that these are selling for 4 digits. They asked 1,600 and took just a bit under that, and other people are seeing similar numbers. I think this just shows how thirsty the community is for non-vanilla prizing, and Veiler is an icon. I do think part of my gut just wishes this was some special full art version of the card or an alternate art exclusive, not just a stamp on the picture. However, how much do people spend on first edition stamps on cards, and all those look the same? This is the WCQ, the biggest tournament that we have on an icon, and I do get the other side of the argument on how this might be able to do well for itself long term. However, in the immediate, you're also going to have the YCS stamped one, and these going back and forth in terms of kind of hurting each other for their sales, and by the end of the season, we'll have max population on these cards. So it will be very interesting to see how they age versus this huge price point, bigger than the vanilla prize cards by over double, that people are getting on them. Let's go ahead and look into what happened with the metagame though. Gym Knight doing very well for itself, and with that we do see Neprim going way up in price, the secret rare getting bought out, and the QCR going on full buyout mode. You also have tons of DTs, too many to cover, going up in price, so if you want to look through those on your own time, be aware just so many Gym Knights are going. And if you're wondering why I'm taking the time to do that, this is how many tabs we have for today, so we're trying to keep it a bit quicker. Shadol Fusion Quarter Century Secret Rare mixing in there with Gym Knights. That was pretty innovative. I did not have that on my radar. I've been playing Shadols in Master Duel for the Fusion Cup and getting my butt kicked because it doesn't keep up with the times, but I'm having a lot of fun when it does resolve right and all that stuff. This card is absolutely going bonkers right now though for its QCR. It is $35 lowest, and it does have sales towards the $30 range with multiple at 25. Number 67 Paradise Smasher, I believe, was being played in Gym Knight as well as Versus, and Versus doing it before Canine is out. This is going up to the point of $37 freaking dollars, and tons of sales in the range as well. Stake Your Soul, we just mentioned Versus, is going even further off the market as people prepare for the upcoming metagame. If it can do it in the current metagame, what happens when it gets even stronger? And the collector rare is going, you see the ultra rare is going, and the 10s just did not populate many quantities compared to years past with how really choked out the ratios were. Speaking of Vanquish Soul Holly Sue, the main star of the show, bringing it kind of up into the modern era, this is towards $260 plus right now, with sales starting to trend that direction, multiple in the 200s. And if you just want the ultra rare, that's actually going up as well. I believe it's towards 34. And then Vanquish Soul Heavy Burger is up there towards $18. Again, lacking a really solid reprint. These quantities just aren't enough to fill the community when you're looking at those secret rares and it's like 1 out of 4 cases or something ridiculous. Sky Striker Ace equals 0 Starlight Rare, not to be outdone by Versus, is going up and is towards 250, trying to really fight for that top spot. At one point, it was bought out to the point where only 350s remain, and they have been selling in that 250 range. Somebody even biting at 270. Sky Striker Ace Rose altar art as we prepare for more support. More! It is going further up beyond and is lowest listed $350, and you can see here a recentish sale in the $250 range and another there as it went off the market. Sky Striker Ace Kagari Ultimate Rare also spiking back up triple digits. It's 160 before it does climb 250 somewhat quickly if those end up going, but we see most of them sold out around the $100 to $120 mark, but one did go at 160. There can be only one. We did cover this somewhat recently with how Stun has been actually performing. This is going even further up, $64 listed by multiple people, and there's even sales in that range now. Wild Survivors, you might notice we covered a lot of cards from the set, including the Hungry Burger. This is going up to almost double where it was at. It was at $38, and now they are listed at $57. Still under 60, still a PU stinker, but 7 of the Ultras are versus cards, but some of those actually have okay reprints. However, yeah, people are going in for the chance at it, and at $38, I kind of get it, right? Like, oh boy, this scratch-off has really good potential for return, and now that it's headed back towards 60, it's not quite as, good to end up going, because look at how few cards actually get you the value of your box back, but you could get a Hungry Burger. We have number S39 Utopia Prime for future formats with Utopia support. It is going up here, and I also wanted to cover Lightning because I do see actual sales rates going on its QCR, and there is that Ultimate Rare that did well for itself. If you're confused why the Super Rare's ahead of the Manga Ultra Rare, I believe this was a EU exclusive release on this, if memory serves, so do be aware that that's why on our market it looks a bit backwards. Lila, Light Sword and Sorceress for past formats is just ridiculous for its Ultimate Rare. First edition lowest is almost $200. I don't think I'd clocked this since it was like $150, and it is getting ridiculous sales even on foreign copies on here, so be aware of that. Actually selling around that $200 range. XY Dragon Cannon, this takes me back. I remember Calvin Tahan kind of showing off XYZ Dragon Cannon combos in GOAT format and it actually performing, but this has always been a card highly demanded on the market. I have the OCG Ultimate Rare that I really love. The lowest first editions are almost $50. I've always felt like these first eds were kind of undervalued. I remember this being towards 25 while the Unlim was 20. The Unlim is still 20, but here we even see a sale here at $48 on first edition. Medius the Pure has its secret rare, I actually believe, because it says Ultra, but I do think the ENSP1 is secret, so it's mislisted as you are here. It's really darn cool to see that though, ENSP1 and secret. So this is going very well for itself up as the deck gets traction as a mid-max rarity. If I'm spending this kind of money though, I'd probably just do extra and go Starlight, but I get that the train's passed and people are looking for cheaper, and that's why this ended up going up as well for mid to max. Sphere of Chaos, the really big Edison tournament or Arbet, was max capacity, had tons of names, Nim topped, and we saw this deck do well at the tournament and get featured I think twice. So it's up on buyout mode, and it's really cool to actually see how these cards and formats still are able to develop when people think it's so solved. There's just no solving the format sometimes it feels like, and there it goes, full buyout mode. You can see in reaction here all at once. Also, Ultimate Offering being played around. Its QCR has just a couple of extra sales, but the Super Rare actually has some big sales as well. You can see here up towards $65, $68. Sinjinjin, we covered this buyout a bit ago. It's just surging even further. 21 listings on the Ultra and the QCR going. We are entering reprint season, but we're also going to have tournaments come back in a YCS season, and people want to play at their locals, and it's still not the most in the world, but if you have extras of these, I would probably be offloading heading towards reprint season personally. That and the Wedju Temple also going for its QCR. Now, max rarity you don't have to be as concerned about, right? It's the lower rarities and them surging that are like, huh, that is money and could get reprinted, especially with the focus of things. With all the ban list drama and ban list speculation, and the ban list is coming that never came, Heavy Storm has surged up in price towards 120 with that kind of speculation, and yeah, you can see where the buyout mode really went on it. Cosmo Dark Lady, I know MCole40 has a video on this with it as the full thumbnail. We do have Psychic Piles looking at different ways to play. This card can be pretty good in them, and it's still under $5 for a first edition that's pretty iconic to the game. So I don't blame people for rushing at this card at all, especially while it's still cheap. Branded Fusion Quarter Century Secret Rare. I did not get to cover this in the last one, and I did want to cover it here. This is towards 270 lowest, and we do see the buyout mode went all the way through $200 copies, with many going at 150 to 170. There's a new structure deck that's going to be all foil with brand new cards. I believe it's 2 new cards, if I'm not mistaken, released at the same time in the OCG and the TCG, and with that, a lot of branded hype happening. You can see here, the curve has gone back up for Cartesia, and she's up towards $75 and getting solid sales as well. So with that branded news, we do see a lot of the market shifting on max rarity branded once again. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these conversations. And I've got to say, what a wild post WCQ show. Usually we see things kind of start to condense and fall off and people wait through that fall season, but we do have tournaments that have been starting faster than the past seasons, as well as so much interest in the future formats. Again, when I say Yu-Gi-Oh's falling off, it's about how our product is performing, and the product is the base of everything we play. If everybody's always buying the singles and the sealed is just rotting at stores to where a really strong wave is still under MSRP or around MSRP that the stores are getting from distro, not the MSRP that the customer pays, that is a bad sign for Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's where a lot of these side sets are. And if the Versus set has that much demand and is still where they're not making money on that box, if they have it all this time, they're breaking even, just not a good place to be in.